At this time, we're going to have the commencement speech by Ms. Cheryl Mass. Hey.
Hey. You know, when they asked me to do this, I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't do this. But the more I thought about it, I do want to share my journey a little bit, and also to help my fellow sisters that I have grown to know a little bit of, and the people out there. And I want to touch bases on little things I wrote down, so just bear with me a little bit. As I started this journey on the pathway to financial transformation, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to achieve it. It's a journey that requires sacrifice and discipline. Now, we got to be a little honest about the sacrifice part. It's not easy. No. It's really not. It's like trying to lose weight. You're trying to stay disciplined, but you keep staring at your favorite candy bar. In my case, it's a pair of shoes.
Amen.
One of the things I learned in this process is you have to do what works for you, not what works for anyone else, no matter what that looks like. I don't care how bad it looks, how silly it looks. That's only to us. It's not to anyone else. It's okay to look any way it looks. When I start putting my budget together, which I learned a little more through LAFCU, I learned a lot of things. Honestly, I hadn't even thought about before. I tried to stick to the budget. But it's okay, because you don't always stick to it. You have to deviate, you have to come back. You have to readjust, but never stray away from it. One of my biggest motivators was my credit score. It wasn't bad, but when I looked at it and when I learned what it could be, I personally, myself, was determined. I want this particular score, and I'm going to do what I need to do to get to that score. So it became my struggle, you know, and then I'm sitting here looking at things that's holding me back. And I needed the help. I couldn't do it by myself for 30 years. I'm constantly doing it by myself, and it ain't working. And then here comes LAFCU. The opportunity is there for all of us. They're offering you everything. You just have to be willing to take it. Another habit I picked up was monitoring my debit card every month. Now I compare my debit card, my transactions, for what I did the month before. And I was so disgusted with myself. Absolutely disgusted. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is a blip. You paid, these were bills, and none of all these here ain't got nothing to do with bills. That's on me. That's where the discipline comes on. That's where the purpose comes, because you have to do this class on purpose. And you know, you might have to do it more than once, but everybody can do it, because if I can do it, trust me, you all can do it.
And it's free.
And it's free. Another truth is realizing you can't do everything. You can't support everything. You cannot be there for everybody.
Talk about it.
You have to do yourself first. You have to learn to say, no, I can't. Sometimes you have to lock into being financially comfortable for yourself. You don't have to have what everyone else has. Only what you want and what you need. The journey isn't a competition. It's a lifestyle for yourself. And when you start to see things changes, when you actually visualize the progress, you start to love yourself and like yourself a little more. You feel better, you stand better. Oh, truly, all that happens. At this point in my life, it's not just about avoiding financial stress. It's about freedom, peace, joy in my heart. I want to move when I want to move, and I want to make the decisions that I want to make without feeling any financial stress. And for anyone here who might be thinking about buying your first home, check into it. Find out what you need. Don't be afraid. Everything you need is right here. The people to ask. It's not don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. You have the resources right here at LAFCU. They'll walk you through the process. I'll admit, the first time, I was embarrassed. I didn't know how to come and say, this is what I look like. Now, it's such a habit. I just come in and say, hey, it's me again. We start all over. We get it all together. You know what I mean? You go back and you just start over. It's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And one of the things, you always know when you need the help. So don't wait until you're drowning. Listen for the whispers. Because when you hear the whispers and you act on it then, you don't have to respond to the screams, because they will come. I've learned to pause and ask a few things for myself. Simple questions. I'm an impulse spender. Seriously. I went to get an oil change and came back with a car. You know what I'm saying? Just ridiculous stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, seriously. It's that ridiculous. So I go in stores. Really. Buy 2, get 1 free. Somebody asked me one time, Cheryl, why do you have all that stuff in your cupboard and you don't even have to eat it? And I literally looked in the cupboard.